If your team got guaranteed money, tell them call me.
Whoop. Make me say, my. I done been around the world.
Yeah, I was made for this.
Player Performance with J.A. Cavalier.
What up? Welcome back to another episode of NFL Player Performance. I, of course, am your favorite capper's favorite capper, J.A. Cavalier. Again, this here, NFL Player Performance, Week 16. Holy shit. Pretty much at the end of the season. It's that time where teams start jockeying for position, either in the playoffs or in the draft. It's that time of year. Go ahead, smash the like button. Appreciation, always appreciated. Of course, I appreciate you guys the most. Thanks for being here. Do me a favor. Drop in the comments right now. Let me know where you're checking in from. Shout out where you guys are checking in from. I do this shit every single week. I'm going to be here locking on the NBA starting either next week or the following week, but we'll do that 5 days a week. I'm here every week with the NFL, breaking down the card, hopefully making you guys smarter players along the way. We're going to get to NFL Week 16. One sec. First, Tessa, recap last week.
Back it up. One more time.
All right, let's see that again.
Here's your NFL Week 15 recap. Tua stunk it up so bad on Monday Night Football that Mike McDaniel is considering Zach Wilson for next week. The ultimate Dallas Cowboys move is to lose to TJ McCarthy and the Vikings to kill their playoff hopes. Todd Bowles coached a terrible game, took his players from the stadium, walked them into the middle of the street, and threw them right under the bus. Luckily for Bowles, Dave Canales and the Panthers care just as little about winning the NFC South. Let the Saints in at this rate. The Raiders and Eagles played, but only the Eagles showed up. The Ravens and Bengals also played, but similarly, only the Ravens showed up. The dynasty is dead, and Patrick Mahomes' ACL is in about the same shape too. The Cardinals are so ready for this season to end that their players are going to timeshare meetings during the week. Bills fans can't be hurt by Tom Brady anymore. Buffalo came back to beat the Pats and keep their division hopes alive. The Jags beating the Jets by 28 is a new low, even for New York standards. In a game that neither team cared about, the Commanders beat the Giants. No Puka, no Devontae, no problem for Matt Stafford. Shador threw 3 picks and wore the wrong wristband. Kid's got a bright future with the Browns. Grandpa Phil gave elderly men the ED true hope that they can still be fat and play in the NFL. The Packers went from 1 seed to 7 seed and lost Micah Parsons all in 1 hour. Brock Purdy was so disrespectful that he did a Michael Jordan jump pass mid-game versus Tennessee. That's your NFL Week 15 recap.
All right, so Week 15, and what a week it was. Thursday night, it got started, and we did have the Falcons in that game. Thrilled to see the Falcons actually walk that off. The Bucs have gone from one of those teams that everybody thought was a surprise, going to enter the Super Bowl, maybe sneaky Super Bowl contender, right? So all of a sudden, now you're losing teams to Kirk Cousins in primetime. And I don't think people actually remember a time where that was like the biggest meme and the biggest fade spot in all of sports was just betting against Kirk Cousins in primetime. And yet, Kirk Cousins walks it off for the Atlanta Falcons. On Sunday, Bears, I had the Bears in a couple teasers. Didn't play him straight. The line was just a little bit too big. Ravens, of course, was one of my max bets on Sunday. They cashed that easily. You know, look, that's one of your best spots when you have two equally or the better of the two teams on the second game after losing the first in division to a division opponent. And it almost doesn't matter where they play, right? It doesn't matter if both teams, because both teams in this series had actually lost at home, but it doesn't matter, right? It's an almost automatic take in that second game, especially with the Ravens being the better team. I mean, you just have to lock in a spot like that. I did bet the Chiefs. They're fucking duns. You talk about a team that's fucking done. And I'm not talking about just this year. I'm talking about they're done. That dynasty, this whole Patrick Mahomes thing, they're done. Gone. Done. That's it. Because you have to remember this, right? So you lose Patrick Mahomes for the rest of the season. Not a big deal. You were out of the playoffs anyway. But you lose him for the first half of next year. And you can't really afford to bring in anybody who's going to be worth the salt. So you may be stuck with the stash or rookie quarterback. So you're not going to be able to spend the type of money you're going to have to spend to bring in a quarterback that's going to be worth it to just as a placeholder, hoping that you go 50-50 until Patrick Mahomes comes back. Because what is he going to look to come back in? Maybe November? Season might be over by the time he gets back. And I'll talk about this a little bit later, but you might have seen the last of Travis Kelce. I mean, the man's definitely lost a step or two. Is he really going to put the pads on? This guy's starting a life. Who knows? You know, what's next, kids, right? You know, are you really going to start suiting it up? I don't know. Didn't look like he had that same dog in him this year. So you might have seen the last of Travis Kelce. And for NFL fans, that's a beautiful fucking thing, because that means no more Taylor Swift, right? Like, so, you know what? You get the good, you get the bad, you get the ugly, right? You know what? But there's one bright side of this whole thing. No more Taylor Swift. Kudos to the Chargers, right? They went on the road and did something that teams in division in years past just weren't able to do. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City in a division game, and Chargers swept them on the series. Kudos to them. Buffalo Bills, holy shit, what a fucking roller coaster. And I've been telling you guys for the last 5 years, right? The NFL is a roller coaster. As soon as you get as high as you could possibly get, it dips, and you get the biggest fall. Bills last week was that emotional roller coaster for myself. 20-dime NFL route. I had 20,000 on the Buffalo Bills. They go down 20-0. You can imagine what my DMs look like, right? Like, you don't even have to. You already know what my DMs, what messages, what everything look like, right? Everybody, oh, you suck, you don't know ball, you fucking suck. And then, you know what? I patiently waited. And there was a time where I said, you know what? They cut this to 14. They get the ball at this to start the second half. You know what? There's a chance. And then Josh Allen put on the fucking cape, and that just did Josh Allen-like things. It's crazy. Josh Allen-like things. Now, I did like or expect the Giants to win last week. It was just, look, it was the lesser of the two evils, I guess, right? Marcus Mariota gets it done. But there was a couple of chances in that game for the Giants to come back and reestablish the game. Yeah, that is. You know, Birdie's saying, as a Giants fan, there's always a chance for Giants, right? They never actually finish, but there's always that chance for Giants. And then they lose games in probably the most ridiculous way. Do I like them this week? I don't know. We're going to have to wait. We're going to have to see, right? Eagles, I told you it was a bounce back spot for the Eagles. The Eagles needed to beat up on somebody. And if you need to speed up on somebody, the Raiders are that team that you would look to beat up on. Jags beat up on the Jets. Pretty much said that one as well. Texans. Now, the Texans didn't quite beat up on the Cardinals the way you expected them to. I thought it was going to be like a 30-40, nothing game. I like the Cardinals team total under as well in that game. Didn't bet that. What I did do is I ended up playing the Texans, and I ended up putting the Texans in a bunch of teasers. That was a spot for me. Oh, a spot that I did play last week, and I did release as well, was the Eagles first half, and that cashed easy. I mean, they were up by like 14, 17 by the halftime. I mean, they never looked back. And then a max bet that did lose on the day for me. No, it wasn't a max bet. It was another 25 star, which was the Packers. I just thought it was a Packers spot. And I don't know that you can argue that it wasn't a Packers spot, right? Because the Packers were in control of that game with Micah Parsons, with Watson. And then all of a sudden, both of these guys go down, and the game changed. And then Jordan Love turned back into what I've been saying about Jordan Love for the last 3 years. So, Broncos, congrats. They won a big game at home. I don't think they do it this week. I know that's Contrarian Island, but we'll get there as well. Detroit. So what happened was I gave out the Detroit Lions as my social media troll me game of the week, right? Like, that's what that is, right? That's the game that I get the most hate when it loses, and then crickets when it wins, right? So I gave them out full game. But what we had bet in VIP service was we had bet the Lions in the first half. The more I looked at that game, the more I liked it early. And the fucking Detroit Lions showed the fuck up in the first half. Like, they were up by over 2 scores at one point in that game. And that all came early, obviously. And then Matthew Stafford, you know what? Like Josh Allen, put on his fucking cape and just did Matthew Stafford-like things this year. I'm telling you right now. So I released, you can go back and you can listen to week 1 of this show, and you'll see on the show I gave out Rams, Bills, Super Bowl. That's my tickets for the Super Bowl this year. I got to say, I like my fucking position. I really like my position. I really do. Saints Panthers, that was a shit in hands and clap type game, right? 49ers, I did expect the Niners to roll. CMC just having himself a fucking career. Forget year. He's having himself a career, right? Colts, I mean, I think that was pretty much the surprise spot of the week, right? I mean, I'm not that Phillip Rivers came back and slung it around, because it's not like he did all that much. He didn't look bad. He didn't look good. He looked like a capable quarterback, right? He looked like a guy who's been there before, and he certainly has been. But it was more so Sam Darnold. And then you have to shout out Sam Darnold for coming back. Well, really, it was Shaheed who actually brought the Seahawks back on Monday night to beat the Rams in overtime and going for two. That's balls. Like that's ballsy. And then Sunday night, Cowboys, man. The only thing good about your team losing a game that ends their season is that it ends their season if they lose that game. But you want to talk about some shit? 26.5. That was my second max bet on Sunday, right? 26.5 Cowboy team total. Aubrey doesn't miss one. He doesn't miss two. I believe he missed 3 field goals in that game. The most accurate and consistent kicker in the NFL, 3 field goals. And it wasn't like they were these overly long. I mean, he has the biggest leg in the league, so it doesn't matter. He misses 3 field goals, and we lose that on a half a point. And then when they're driving down towards the end of the game, and I'm not going to sit here and cry that it was the wrong thing to do. They were down by 11 in that spot, and they were driving the ball. They had plenty of time to hit the end zone, hit pay dirt, but then they wouldn't have had enough time to get an onside kick and kick the field goal. They just stopped short, put him on the field, and let him kick a field goal, and then they try the onside kick, which you knew you were fucking done as soon as they brought it, at least the team total. So, but you missed 2 fucking field goals, 3 field goals to get us there anyway to keep it close. And then I come back on Monday night, and what do? I shit with another team total, the Dolphins, team total over. And look, I don't give a fuck what you say. It was the right play. It was the right play. You want to troll me for that? It was the right play. Because they did absolutely nothing. Played about as bad a football at the quarterback position as you could possibly play for 3 quarters. And they still had 15 on the board with the ball in the final 2 minutes. So it wasn't. The read was right. The points were there to be had. Tua just couldn't grab them, right? Tua just couldn't throw the ball more than 10 yards. He couldn't hit or anticipate open receivers, which is why Tua is now out the fucking door. And in comes Ewers. All right, anyway, so mixed bag of nuts from last week, but we're ready to roll. And then Thursday night this week was a lot of fun. That game was a lot of fucking fun. That was a great game. And I know I lost the under, but I did hit the Seahawks money line. I also hit 2 of my 3 props, and both of them were involved JSNs, and he cashed both in overtime. Don't care how it cashes. Doesn't matter. Anyway, this week there's 3 spots on Sunday's card, 3 spots in the NFL card that I fucking love. We're going to get to all that and much more. Let's go. NFL Week 16. All aboard!
Eagles at Commanders.
Eagles are laying 6.5. The total here is at 44. So Philly got their bounce back last week that they needed. I told you that they would, right? Total domination, 31-0. And I guess I got my swagger back, right? 1 win away now, NFC East. Congrats. Fucking Philadelphia. And look, they're going to get it this week, or they should get it this week. Commanders jockeying for draft position. 3-7 last 10 ATS. That defense, or lack of, I should say, they're 26th in scoring, 31st in yards, 30th in EPA, 27th in defensive success rate. Pretty much as bad as it gets. Philly needs this dub, so they have to get it. Will I lay the 6.5? Yeah, fuck it. We'll lay the 6.5.
Packers at Bears.
So this line has now flipped. The Bears are actually now laying 1, and the total here is at 47. I like the over in this game. It's going to be cold, but it's going to be dry. And I've said this before. When it comes to cold weather football, the defense is who it affects the most, right? Because the defensive backs are a little bit slower to the ball, a little slower to the route. Remember, the wide receiver knows where he's going, right? The defensive player has to guess or has to catch up. A little bit slower to do that, a little slower to react when it comes to cold weather, especially as cold as it's going to be in Chicago. So I'm going to go over in this spot. Both offenses top 10 in scoring. I think 50 in this game, it's the floor. It's not the ceiling. Remember, the Packers lost Micah, and I get it. That's one dude, but that dude covers a lot of ground. And that dude also erases a lot of the errors. And look, we don't really have to talk much about the Bears defense. I mean, all you could do is sum it up in 2 words. They suck. So both teams should be able to score. Both defenses will allow the others to do so. Give me the over 47.5.
Bills at Browns.
Bills are laying 10. The total here is at 42. Big shout out to the Bills and Bills Mafia. 20-dime NFL route last week. Came back, beat the Patriots. Put May and Vrabel back in their place, back where they belong. I know, Patriot fans are going to light it up. I get it. You guys are still in first and probably going to finish the season in first. You know what? Put in the playoffs. You're one and fucking done, baby. Look, and I'm going to say this right now. If you don't have Josh Allen as the best player on the planet, you're either a hater or a Patriots fan. That's it, right? Like, that's it. Full transparency, I was cursing him last Sunday too, right? Early in that game, I was cursing him. I was cursing his wife. I was cursing his mother when they were down 21-0. But then again, Josh in second half just put on the cape and did very Josh Allen-like things and things that only a guy like Josh Allen could do and cash that 20 dimes. 10 on the road, though. I don't know, man. Double digits, it makes me a little bit nervous. But if you're going to play it, you're going to have to lay it because certain teams, we get it, play down to their competition. But this isn't one of them. Not the Bills, not Josh Allen. Josh Allen actually beats up on bad teams. And it doesn't get any worse than the Browns and Shador. Give me the Buffalo Bills. I'll lay the points.
Jets at Saints.
Saints are laying 4.5. The total here is at 40.5. Listen, I don't know if I can say that really with a straight face. The Saints are laying 4.5. Listen, I get it. Shuck's been playing better, and there's hope, at the very least, hope in New Orleans. But is this really where we are? Have we gotten to a point now where the Saints are laying fucking points? That's ridiculous. Now, I'm saying all that to say this. I'm not betting the game. And if you're betting the game or looking at the game or planning on betting the game, get some fucking help. Call that number, right? Call the hotline. Maybe go take a cold bath, cold shower. I don't know. Check into a facility. Look, it's Christmas time. There you go. There you have it. That's what you do. It's Christmas time. Just donate to a charity, your favorite charity. I'm not going to give you one. You pick one, right? I told you. 3 games this card that I love. 3 spots that I love this week. Those are, in my opinion, the only 3 games you should be playing. That's my opinion. And I really, truly believe that. That's how confident I am in this game. $100 rest of the NFL season. Link in the description. You can get that right now.
Chargers at Cowboys.
Cowboys are laying 2. The total here is at 49.5. First off, be careful the rest of the season because this is where guys typically outthink the teams they're playing and try to play into what this team has to play for narrative, right? And this can certainly be one of them. Now, look, we've been saying it for years now, right? We love the Cowboys in Dallas. We love Dak in Dallas. That's typically where you back Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. I've also been saying all season long, you back their offense, you fade their defense. They played a little bit better, and now all of a sudden the narrative has become, the Cowboy defense is great. They're good against the run. More so, good against the run inside. And they play well off of that. And look, they're still professionals. There's still dudes out there getting paid. They're still world-class athletes, right? They're going to have spots where they make plays. They're going to have spots where they look good. And they have a good enough defensive line, and more so, 2 Pro Bowl caliber defensive tackles that are going to open up the defensive ends and make the defensive ends look better, right? So it's not that because their secondary is still a sieve. Still a sieve. J.J. McCarthy just showed you that last week. Actually, Detroit showed you that the week before. Teams have been showing you that all season long. So this narrative that the Dallas Cowboys defense is better is ridiculous. But also, it's impossible to gauge the temperature of what a team that just got bounced, just like officially. I mean, they were done before they were done, but now they're really, really done. It's really difficult to gauge what the temperature is going to be like. You know, you got to imagine that in Dallas right now, the vibes are pretty low. I don't want to take the 2 because I still think that's disrespectful. I don't think that's enough points in this spot. But what I will do is I'll take the 2. Then I'll be adding an additional 6, and I'll be teasing the Chargers up to 8, 8.5. 28, 34, 44. That's what this Dallas defense has given up the last 3 weeks. So I'm going to make the Chargers an official teaser spot. I'll find somebody during the course. You know what? There you go. There you have it. Chargers, Eagles, 2-team teaser. Let's go.
Chiefs at Titans.
Chiefs are laying 3. The total here is at 37.5. And you know what? I get it. It's the Titans. I do. I get it, right? But you still have the Chiefs with the stash out there laying points. I don't get it. That I don't get. That I don't understand. Look, Chiefs dynasty, as I said in the open, over, done, gone, right? Remember, they didn't just lose this year. They lost him for most of next year as well. And that's it. Bye-bye. No more Taylor Swift. No more Travis Kelce. Now, that's not official, but all news reports were that this was his last year anyway, right? So, you know, I mean, I guess that's the one good thing that's come out of all this. Look, I'm just going to fade the Chiefs the rest of the way. If for nothing else, and I really mean this, if for nothing else, it just feels good to do so. So give me the Titans. You guys already know Cam Ward. It's all about the U, especially on Saturday. Hurricanes bring this fucking home. Let's go.
Bengals at Dolphins.
Bengals are laying 4.5. The total here is at 50.5. Look, Joe Burrow might actually quit football. Now, I really need you to let that sink in. Your franchise quarterback goes to the media and says, I'm not having any fun. He's not injured, not benched, obviously. He's not washed, just not having any fun. And meanwhile, Tua, benched. Good. Came a little bit too late for my liking. Now yours. So, yeah, oddly enough, you're going to have to back the Dolphins in this spot. I get it. Look, but you have to do it. Because, listen, your quarterback just told the world he doesn't like his job. What do you think that locker room looks like? Have you ever seen Any Given Sunday? You remember where Willie Beanon, he's talking crazy, he's running his mouth, he's feeling himself a little bit too much, and his offensive line in the rain in Miami just let him get absolutely lit up. And then they look at Al Pacino on the sideline and he goes, let him learn, let him learn. That could be Burrow this Sunday. Because offensive linemen take shit like that personally. They're not pretty, they're not famous, there isn't any glitz and glam. They're tough, gritty grinders. They hit and get hit on every single play. They battle in the trenches for 3 hours, and their name only gets mentioned when there's a penalty. It's a fucking thankless job. And now, you want those men to put their bodies on the line to protect a pretty boy quarterback who's crying to the media about not having any fun? On the other side, look, it's a breakup. Yeah, it hurts at first. But then comes the excitement, the freedom, the opportunity. Something new, fresh energy, new leadership, new edge. And the market's panicking right now. They don't know what to do with this game. 4.5 is an overreaction. So give me the hunger, give me the edge, give me the points, give me the Dolphins, fins up. Sometimes, guys, the grass really is actually greener.
Buccaneers at Panthers.
Buccaneers are laying 3. The total here is at 45. So this is going to be the best game on Sunday that I don't watch. I don't bet, I have no interest in, right? Like, seriously, of all the games that I have zero interest in this week, this one's the best of them. Both teams have looked like absolute shit. But the sad thing is, one of these two teams are going to get into the playoffs. I would lean over in this game, right? And I'm going to lean to the over. I mean, really, when you think about it, who's going to get stops? Carolina, 26th in total defensive EPA. Tampa Bay is 23rd in total defensive success. The numbers defensively for both teams are brutal. So just give me the over in this spot. But listen, I have 3 games on this card that I love. Those are the 3 games that you want to be on this week. And honestly, in my opinion, those are the only 3 games that you want to be on this week. Get the rest of the NFL season right now, $100. Link in the description below. And it sets up perfectly for us. There's one game at 1 p.m. We take that money, we roll that into the one game at 4 o'clock. And then we take that money, we roll that into Sunday Night Football. Beautiful fucking thing. We're just going to go piggyback, right? What do they call that? Leapfrog? So we're going to leapfrog 1 into 4, 4 into 8. Could be a big day, man. Could be a big day. I love these 3 games. Only 3 games that you're going to need. Link in the description below.
Vikings at Giants.
Vikings are laying 2.5. The total here is at 43.5. Now, I think that we've been a little critical of J.J. McCarthy. You have to remember, this is still practically his rookie season. And rookies are stupid. They're going to make mistakes. But we see the tools, right? We see the arsenal, the array that he has. The shed's far from bare. 6 touchdowns, 1 interception his last 2 games. Now, I'm not going to bet the Vikings in this spot. The 2.5 scares me. I don't know if you remember back in week 3 when I told you avoid the 2.5, because I think at that point, all the 2.5 point underdogs at that point had either covered or won outright. I think it was all of them, or maybe one didn't. And I can almost guarantee if you go back through this season and you look at all the times you faded 2.5, you're down money. You're down money. But I want to back this Vikings offense, and more so, I want to fade the Giants defense. So naturally, give me the Vikings team total over 23.5. Look, I can score Kobe Bryant on the Giants defense right now. Vikings offense over 23.5.
Jaguars at Broncos.
Broncos are laying 3. The total here is at 47. So about 2-3 weeks ago, I told all of you fuckers how much I like Trevor Lawrence, right? I said he's different. I said this is a different version of Trevor Lawrence, right? And he's balling out. And what has he done since? 48 and 36. That's the points that they've put up over the last 2 weeks. And I get it. Everybody's going to love Denver, the longest active winning streak. And yet, this line is 3. Look, Vegas is speaking. And when Vegas speaks, you have to listen. I've been telling you all season. I've been teaching you all season. We don't bet teams. We play spots. We play situations. We play numbers. And this right here is absolutely a Jaguars number. This line fucking stinks. It smells. It smells worse than an Airbnb after a Bonnie Blue orgy. Give me the points. Give me the Jaguars. Love this spot for Jacksonville. I'm going to be screaming Duval all day on Sunday.
Falcons at Cardinals.
Falcons are laying 3. The total here is at 48. There's no shot I bet this game. There's no shot I watch this game. But I'm going to lean Atlanta, right? Cardinals are so fucking banged up right now. You have to lean Falcons in this spot. Listen, there are 3 games. Again, I'm telling you guys for the 3rd time. There's 3 games on this card. The only 3 games that I feel you guys should be betting on Sunday, honestly. And I mean that. There's 3 games on this card that I fucking love. These are the only 3 games that I feel you guys should be betting. And I told you, it sets up perfectly. There's one game at 1 o'clock I'm going to slam. Then I'm going to roll that money into 4 o'clock game. Then I'm going to roll that into the Sunday Night Football game. Beautiful situation. All works out piggyback. You can pick that up. $100 NFL season. You can get that right now. Link in the description. Gift it to someone. Hey, 'tis the season, right? You know what? Gift it to someone. The gift that keeps giving right now, NFL, $100, the rest of the season. Let's go.
Raiders at Texans.
Texans laying 14. The total here is at 38. Listen, whatever the number is in this game, I want it, right? This is becoming the best bet in the NFL. Just fade Vegas by any means possible. They lost by 31 last week. They didn't even show up to that fucking game. And now they face the best defense in the NFL. First in scoring, first in yards. Enough said. Give me the Texans. Lay the points.
Steelers at Lions.
Lions are laying 7. The total here is at 52. Should be the best game of the week. I mean, maybe. I don't know. What's the best games of the week? Maybe Jaguars, Broncos, Patriots, Raven. Look, I hate to say this, and really I do. It actually pains me to say, but I don't trust the Lions right now. I don't trust them enough to lay a touchdown. And I'm pretty much one of those guys who's painted my chest blue for the last 2 years. I'm a Dan Campbell guy. I almost fucking tattooed Monty on my ass, you know, in a joke, right? But they just keep letting me down. Last week, no exception. This was obviously my free pick, my troll video of the week, where I gave out the Detroit Lions. And look, they lost. I get it. But members did cash. Of course, we had the Lions in the first half. It was a spot that I liked more. Remember, I do this early in the week, and I research this early in the week. I don't do my final handicaps till late Friday and into Saturday, right? So that's where I really lock down what I'm betting big on Friday, on Saturday. Or, the spots start to become clearer throughout the week. But this all starts on Tuesday. I like the spot for the Lions. I go back and say it was still the right call. Remember, the Lions were up by 3 scores in that game. But there's something that I'm going to count on in this game, right? Points. A lot of them. 52 is a big number. I get it. But I'm willing to bet that this game flies over. Matter of fact, I am betting that this game flies over. Steelers offense rolling right now. And it seems like it took most of the season for Aaron Rodgers to actually find his guy. But he certainly has found his guys, right? Metcalf, Gainwell, Washington, and the addition of Thielen. I don't think anybody can talk about just how big of an addition that was. It's 2 guys, older guys who've been involved in the league for many fucking years, true professionals, the connection just picked up right away. And they're playing well. And Thielen has added something to that offense, more so, a security blanket for Rodgers when Rodgers gets in trouble. And that was one of those things that they were lacking. And Rodgers has always had that, right? When he was at his best, he always had his security blanket, whether it was Devontae Adams in Green Bay, didn't have anything in the Jets, which we all know how that season fucking went. But it seems like he's found that. He's back in rhythm. He's found his guys. He looks excited again. He looks engaged again. And I think both teams are going to be able to score. I think this should be one of those games that goes up and down the field, back and forth. And both defenses are not stopping anyone right now. Detroit still averages 30 points a game. Look, give me the over. I'm on the over already. I bet this one. This is one of those free picks that I actually bet. But no, this is not one of those 3 games. You want those 3 games? Link in the description.
I live the life, the bright lights, the type, the crowd likes. Where you at, baller?
Get to YLose.com. That's the letter YLOSE.com. Free picks, stats, trends, scores, odds, and more. That's YLose.com. The letter YLOSE.com. You know what? We do have to do a ride or die. Actually, you know what? I'm doing the giveaway, the 12 days of Christmas. I mean, I'm already giving away over $2,000-$3,000 in gift cards. There, you can find that on Instagram. We'll post that link in the description below so you guys can go comment on there as well. But do me a favor, drop a comment anyway, right? Like, 'tis the season. Gifts I'm giving here every single week in the NFL. Give a little back. Smash the like button. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. That's what she said. Guys, I'm not trying to, I can lead a horse to water, right? I can lead a horse to water. And what you don't want, right, is you don't want to hear me come on next week talking about how I swept the board, talking about how I offered up the 3 biggest blowouts on the board, and you guys missed out. I told you about 5 times in this video. There's 3 spots on this card this week that I love. And I'm going to reinstate it one more time. 3 cards on Sunday, 3 spots on Sunday, card, I should say, that I love. And I do mean love. These are the 3 games, in my opinion, the only 3 games you guys will need. $100. You get the rest of the NFL season for $100. That's through the playoffs. That's through the Super Bowl. And you guys know how we crushed that last year. This is that time of year where we start sweeping boards and rolling. This is the time of year to jump on if you haven't yet. Link in the description, $100 entire NFL season. You can pick that up right now. That's it for me here this week. I will be back next week. I may do a shorter show right before Christmas just to make sure that I do it. Actually, that's what we're going to do. We're going to record on Christmas Eve for you guys. That's the dedication and the appreciation I have for you guys, that I'm going to be here with Bernsey in office on Christmas Eve while our families are drinking hard eggnog and celebrating and laughing about us having to go to fucking work, so that you guys have that show for Christmas. But love you guys. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys back in. For whoever misses it, again, happy holidays to all of you guys. From us here at YLose.com, and especially from me to you guys. See you guys back here next week. But until then, remember that with your heads, not above them.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Suffocation.